Hello everyone, welcome to SGSH Publications. So today we are having Jahangeer sir with us. Firstly, I would like to congratulate you sir for having your book published with us. And अब जब आपकी book publish हो चुकी है and it is available on all the platforms, so how are you feeling, sir?
Yeah, it's a really great feeling. In the very first place, I would like to thank SGS Publications for bringing the book in physical form. It was a great journey. Okay, so I like the way they initiated the work, the way it was done. I'm really very happy about that. And as far as the feeling is concerned, definitely it is as an like many of the books
Yeah.
will never turn up, will never come up in physical form. So that really gives me a very happy and proud feeling. So at least I can call myself as an author now. So definitely it's a feeling like which cannot be expressed in words. But again, I'm very happy with it. So yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So I think it's your first book. So how was the feeling and how, you went on to this journey of writing a book? How did you decided that?
Yeah, see, writing is not a new for me, like because I hail from a teaching profession.
Okay.
So I have more than 2 decades of teaching experience. So writing is something that we do it on a regular basis. But as far as a book is concerned, so it's a different thing. There are many things to take into consideration. Like when we go with a formal documentation, that's a different thing. We have a specific purpose and we put the things around. But when it comes to a book, yes, we need to also take into care like how audience will respond, what will be the needs of the audience. So I think I have taken almost all those points and their needs and their expectations. And accordingly, I have come up with a form of a book. I think that which will be a very good learning tool
Yeah.
for all sorts of people, like wherever they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will be an exceptional. I should not use the word exceptional. Audience should say this, but what I feel is yes, I think it will be a very good book for different levels of people.
Amazing, sir. So your book's name is Wordsmith's Narration. So how did you, ये आपने नाम कैसे सोचा and किस तरह से उसकी क्या जर्नी थी, इस नाम की क्या जर्नी थी?
See, as far as language learning is concerned, so we know that two aspects play a major role. One is grammar, and other one is once one is aware of grammar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the same time, a person needs to use the appropriate word at the appropriate place.
True.
And that's where many people struggle, and many people say that, sir, I want to express this, but I'm not getting the right word. So language acquisition definitely commands good vocabulary. So good choice of words. So we all have seen like someone who uses vocabulary according to the audience will easily win the heart of people. So vocabulary plays a major role. And when we talk about this, it in one way it is very simple, in another way it is a little complicated. Simple in the sense vocabulary, people say that okay, I will learn words. The next $1 million the question that arises is how will you learn the words? So like say today you learn a word and after a few days you may tend to forget it. So unless and until a specific methodology is not adopted and followed, we cannot retain those words. And that's what I tried to do in this book. So, like if I give a little insights of the book, how I have organized the book is in 30 chapters, and each chapter is again divided into 3 sections. like first we have a set of words. So obviously, the audience will be introduced to a set of new words followed by their meaning. Now, till this point, it's a very common thing. Look, any vocabulary book will have this. But once we learn a word and its meaning, we may tend to forget it over a period of time. So there should be something that needs to be associated. We need to have an association. Now, how best we can associate and what can be done is like initially at the second level, let us say, I have given them some sentences, okay, wherein we have those words in those sentences. So this will make it will make the words more familiar to the learner. And at the third level, so he also needs to use these words in different situations. So what I have done is I have inserted some stories. So each chapter has got a story, and this story will include all the words. Like for example, I have taken 30 words in first chapter, and this 30 words you will see in the story. So what happens is they like by the time they go through this three phases, like in the first phase, they'll be learning, they'll come to know the word and its meaning. In the second level, they'll have an interaction with the sentences where they come to know usage of those words. And at the third level, they'll be more familiar and they'll become more comfortable and confident to use them in different contexts.
Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the plan was. And that's how the book goes. Right. So if someone starts his journey of vocabulary or word acquisition and keeps a target of 30 days, so directly the book gives 30,000 plus words, but generally it doesn't end with 1,000 plus words, because whenever we learn a new word, we'll not stop with that word. We'll look for its synonyms, we'll look for antonyms. So that's it should not be a painful thing, or it should be more of pleasure reading. So people should feel relaxed. People should like today I have learned something. So this sort of feeling has to come. And wherever possible, the type of stories that I've taken, I've also gone with, they're all fictitious, but at the same time, I try to best retain the interest of the audience. So unless until we don't retain the interest of the audience, learning will be a little painful thing. So they always have a question like, why on the earth I'm reading this? So wherever possible, I have done my best to inculcate as interest, attract, and hold on the interest of the audience.
Amazing, sir.
Yeah.
So very well said. Like the whole plan of yours, I think, is really effective, because even if I talk about myself, I am someone who loves to read these stories, and through that only you don't even know कि आपकी कब वो language strong हो जाती है, उस पे command strong हो जाती है. So it's just about when we read something with the interest. So while making these stories, like you have made so many stories in your book. So, while making the stories, what were your thoughts?
Yeah. Like obviously the first focus, prime focus was where to accommodate this verse. And this biggest second challenge was how to go along with the plot. Now, we need to draw a line where it should not become too serious, and it should not become something like a crime detective where people, obviously we can't predict who will be your audience. Your audience can be matured, your audience can be a teenager, or an audience can be a professional person. So we need to draw a line, and I was a bit uh, careful enough to draw a line, not to make it too complicated. And to have different, like humor is one of the part of the stories, adventure is one of the part of the stories. So like in one story we cannot bring in all the elements, but I have divided it into 30 different stories.
Yeah.
Like somewhere like philanthropy, okay, helping. So something that will be a thought provoking for the people.
Yeah,
Okay, so this looks something interesting, something out of box
definitely.
context.
Yes. I must say it's very amazing, and the way you have written and everything. And since you are a teacher as well, so I'd like to ask you one of the experience of yours where you have learned something very valuable from your students.
Um, most of the students will have this hesitation,
Definitely.
uh,
No.
especially that's a big drawback.
Yeah.
Like being a language teacher, everyone wants to speak English, but they don't understand where to get started, how to speak. That's a $1 million question that haunts them a lot.
Yeah.
Sir, of the class, they come and they talk. Sir, you speak well. I want to speak like you. So what should I do? Now, how can I learn this? So it's a straightforward thing. Like, see, there are n number of books. Just reading a book will not make you thorough or will not make you confident to speak. So if you want to speak, you need to put it in practice.
Definitely.
So first thing is what I generally tell them is it's not like you don't know the language. So if you have come all the way through this stage, like if you're in graduation, you have passed all the exams. Now, simply you didn't pass the exams, right? You have written the exam in English and you have passed. So you know the English, but somewhere there is a blockage. Somewhere you're getting blocked. So first you have to overcome that block. Now that block may be because of fear, like if I speak something wrong, people may make fun of me, or my pronunciation is not good, and people may laugh what others may think. So I tell them like, don't worry about the word. No one is perfect. See, everyone has got something or other. Okay, so no one will be 100% perfect. So if you worry more about what others will think, how things will go around, you will never be able to do anything. And so just start off. Okay, work on your mistakes, identify your mistakes, try to rectify them. See, committing a mistake is okay, but we should not repeat those mistakes. So we should learn from our mistakes. So that's how we evolve. Okay, so maybe initially they'll be able to speak for 1 minute or 2 minutes. That's fine. But once they start speaking, so gradually the confidence levels increase. And after that, I have seen many students who have picked up. So they come to know, sir, now I'm comfortable. So it's not it's not as difficult as I used to imagine. So I used to magnify the things and I used to see, but now I'm quite comfortable.
Okay. Yes, I would say that confidence is something that in today's world and even before that, the students lack. Even as a student, we all have a fear of being judged by the teachers, by the students, or, by our fellow friends and everything. So that fear is something which I believe is making all the foundations for us, and that is why we are unable to, to practice because English is nothing but just a language as we speak Hindi. It's just like that. So it's all about how confident we are or how less fearful we are. So now I would like to ask you that in our lives we do have lots of fears, and confidence is, one of, I would say, the biggest one. But apart from that, what are the fears that you have, seen in your students and you want them to get rid of those fears?
Main one will be stage fear. Okay, so a biggest thing, like first they should show the courage to
Yes, yes.
come and face the situation.
Yeah.
90% of the students will not be open. So one simple answer, they'll say, sir, tomorrow definitely I will do it. I'll be the first one to do tomorrow, sir. And obviously, we know what happens if we say like you do
Tomorrow never
tomorrow.
comes.
Tomorrow never comes, and he will never be seen. At least until everyone forgets that again, sir will ask us. So stage fear is a very common thing that
I would like to say
same.
one thing over here. Like when we
Yeah.
talk about stage fear, like I am someone who is confident with speaking, right? So when I'm speaking normally, like right
Mhm.
now, when I'm speaking with you, even when I'm speaking in public, it's all normal. But when I
Yeah.
go on the stage, it's like my legs are shaking, my hands are shaking. So even when I know how to speak and everything is there,
Yeah.
still there's that sensation, that fear is always there. So, what would you like to say about this?
See, it's all recreated.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
see, like why it comes the moment you think that I am before 100 people or 1,000 people, and obviously we talk about verbal and non-verbal. So there mostly when we talk about presentation, it's more of non-verbal part. So
Yes.
people
Agree.
think that it is verbal, but exactly it is non-verbal.
Definitely.
Means gestures play a major role. So when you stand before 100 people and you see that 100 people are looking at you with some
Yes.
expectation, so then a lot of like when you see suddenly this people looking at you and they have expectations, so a sort of fear comes in. What if I'm not able to do it in a proper way?
Mm-hmm.
If something goes wrong, like is my voice audible? So these are all the questions that we have in our mind, and the moment we allow the fear to enter inside, so it will not allow you to go ahead.
Definitely. Yes.
So best thing is forget about everything. So I am going to do the best. And there is no one else on the earth better than me. I am the best orator now. That's it. And I have the total control. Now, these people don't have it's like whatever I try to say,
Yeah.
they are bound to listen. So once, like to boost your confidence, we may not be able to directly expressing the words as I said, but we can internally tell ourselves, we can boost our confidence levels. Yes, I have done it many times. I will do now also. It's not a problem. So it's a like to be practical, stage fear is something that is not new for like if someone has a 10 or years of experience also,
Mm-hmm.
that person also faces this stage fear. He will also have like
Good.
suddenly you take and
Yeah.
make me stand before 10,000 people and ask to speak. Though I'm very well versed as a orator, I may have a stage fear that will be there. But what I will do is I will not reveal, I will conceal it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's more important because once you allow it, then
Yes.
it will take toll on you. Now, once it takes toll, then it will be very difficult to overcome.
Yes. Yes.
Like so, gradually it comes from thoughts. So once your thoughts will become weak, your voice will shiver. Like that will show lack of confidence, and slowly it will push to a point like where you're not able to speak. So we should cut it down in the beginning itself. So it's better not to focus on those areas. You focus on the main agenda. So what do you want to speak rather than how you are speaking? What do you want to speak? How you want to put it across? Make it more interactive. So then you will get a little space. And other common thing is like people speak very fast, so these are the things that try to be more interactive.
Yeah.
Okay, involve the audience, interact with them. So these are the things that make you a little comfortable. Okay, something like ice breaking they do. So
Yes.
the main intention of ice breaking is in both the ways to make the audience comfortable at the same time. Even the orator also gets a little bit pitch to adjust his speech.
Great. Okay. So, how important you think is communication skills for us in, today's life?
Yeah, communication skills are a must. So half of like not even half, more than half of the work is done through communication skills. So like one in a way, like it's a fact, like we are not struggling with content nowadays.
Yeah.
Content is easily available. We have content, any subject you take. So thanks to the technology, content is easily accessible. But how to communicate that content,
Yeah.
people are not able to put it in the right aspects.
Mhm.
So that requires a little bit of focus, and especially when technology is very advanced now, there are opportunities. There are ample opportunities in every sector, but it's again like the community or student community, is not understanding the requirements. So gone are the days where your academic record is good and someone will pick you up. Now they expect a skill set. So
Yes.
you have done in this area, like to what extent you can justify it. Now we are almost open to international market. So when you are open in an international market, like they'll not ask for like show me your mark or show me your academic credentials. They
Yes.
simply put it a straightforward question like, if I recruit you, so how will you be able to do some good to me? Like we should be able to communicate. At least we should be able to talk about our strengths and weaknesses, like how I will be an asset to the institution. Like unless until we don't communicate, it becomes a very tough job. And that too, in a scenario where things are changing at a very rapid speed, I would definitely say communication skills are a must. So, and every youngster should work on this skill set.
Okay, sir. Great. So, when we talk about communication skills, and as we were talking about the interviews, right? So wherever, I mean, anywhere we go and we want a job or anything like that, career wise, so always there's an interview. And just as the students have the fear, the stage fear, in the very same way, they have the fear of interviewing, right? Like when they are getting interviewed. So and many a times in that scenario, they are not able to express themselves the way they should. So what would be your suggestion for them, like how can they improve this skill of theirs so that they can actually communicate in a better way in the interviews? So yes.
Yeah. So as you have said, interview is something which most of the students are feared about. And let us first face this question: what creates this fear? Why they don't want to face an interview? And the answer they say is everything we have put in the resume, but unfortunately, they are not in a situation to support what they have written in their resume. Like, say,
Yes.
suppose I go for an interview and the person who is taking my interview doesn't know anything about me. So only the source for him is my resume or CV. Okay, so he will ask questions on what information I have furnished. Okay, now he doesn't know anything. Like if I say like I have done a project in XYZ company, he doesn't know anything about that particular company. But still, he will be able to judge and say whether I have really done the project or I have simply inserted it. Right. Now, how will he understand? He understands it based upon the body language, based upon the way this candidate communicates, the way the candidate puts across his thoughts, hesitation. This and all will shout and say, like, boss, that is not something I have done. I have picked up from some my friend's resume and I have inserted. Don't ask too many questions on that. Means in the first place, preparation, lack of preparation. So when someone is going for an interview, so the base minimum requirement is he should be aware of what he has furnished in his resume, and like he should be able to anticipate, like I have written this in a resume section, so I may come across this question. Now if the examiner or if the interviewer asks this question, what should be the appropriate answer, convincing answer should I be able to
Hmm.
give. So that's how they cross check, right? See, if someone is recruiting you, he will not recruit you simply, right? So he wants to get services from you. Now, for getting a service from you, he should know whether the candidate is really knowledgeable or not. So actually, it is a service sector. So in a service sector, when you are selling your services, so we should be prepared. Like simply, a person will not recruit. Okay, so and it's a competitive world. So if you want to be on the advantage side, okay, so you need to be a little bit. We need to have that zeal. We need to have that energy in us. So you need to speak in such a way like the other person understands. Yes, this is somehow lacking. Okay, so in the first place, they're not ready to face.
Yeah.
And again, the blame, or they say like, my language is not good. I have a subject, but I can't speak. Okay, I will take some time, then I will go. But that again looks like a mere excuse. So I would suggest that they should start off. Maybe first interview is not was not that good. At least he will have some understanding of it. He will be able to assess himself. He or she will be able to assess himself what was good and what didn't work out. And at least now they have something to work on. And then the first interview, let us say it was a disaster. The second interview definitely will be better than. So if not second, at least the third or fourth he will make out.
Hmm.
So
Amazing.
we need to push ourselves. So
Yes.
we should stop. So like now some there are people who were never confident. Okay, so maybe they heard about different scenarios or different stories, like interviews will be very tough. There are scenarios where like they were very comfortable, then they cracked it, they got this job in the very first place.
Great, sir.
The
Amazing.
journey, as I say, like journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So that single step is very crucial.
Great. Amazing, sir. So now I would like to ask you what, if you have any message for our audience that you would like to give them. So please do share.
See, like it's not very difficult to acquire or to learn, especially with vocabulary part. What I would suggest is you try to like when we learn something uh, and after a while we don't use it, so it goes in both active and passive. So when we learn a word, like so suppose I learn a word today, it will be in an active part because today I have learned it. But
Yes.
after a few days, I try to recollect. I'll not be able to recollect it because it has become passive. So the more and more we try to use those words, they'll be part of your vocabulary. Okay, you will have easy access to those words. And I would suggest that you try to use the words as much as possible and until they become part of your vocabulary. Okay, so learning should be always a fun. And I always tell my students to be open, don't feel learning as a burden process. Try to acquire as much as possible in a fun and happy way. So yeah, that's what.
Amazing, sir. So now I would like to ask you, how was your experience with SGSH publication? And if you have any suggestion for us, please feel free to share.
Uh, Publication, I never had any problem, but rather I would say like they were very friendly, very cordial. Okay, the process was very fast. So, like generally, it takes time. Some publishers will take a lot of time, and communication hitches will be there. But I never came across and I'm very happy that I have a very good publisher who was very prompt and giving responses, and it was a smooth transition.
Thank you, sir.
I'm quite happy about it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. It was really nice interacting with you and interviewing you. I definitely have learned a lot from you, and I'm very sure that our audience would have also learned something very valuable from this interview and from you. So, thank you so much for this amazing interview, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.